With a Rotten Tomato score of 36% by the critics and 79% by the audience, we have Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Permission come aboard. What he said.
Oh, I don't know how to speak Maui.
Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm Adan.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. We just saw it over the Christmas holiday weekend. We were in a, not say empty theater, but we were in
It was it was more packed than the last couple films I saw.
room, room with people honestly freaking talking.
Yo, there was that one person that was just had the light on
Oh, yeah.
the first like 20 minutes of the film.
Oh, first was standing there who didn't purchase a ticket. That's what it was. She didn't purchase a ticket. So she stayed there,
But why?
wait to see if someone's going to take those seats. And then she came in with her phone on, with her flashlight on.
Yes.
I just looked at her. I was like, "Are you going to do something about it?" And the thing is, she put her phone while it was still on her lap as if she's trying to cover it. Instead of just
Yeah.
taking it.
Turn it off.
Yeah. Then you have a kid. I think it was like a kid just talking.
That I get. It is a child.
I take a kid to a movie and have a conversation at full call. There's people who bought tickets, not just us.
So there were grown teenagers and adults that were having full conversations.
Right.
I will accept a child because they're a child for like a DC movie of this caliber.
But guess what?
But
That's what happened.
full adults, hush your mouth.
People heard to go shh, and that happened. And then that little girl with her mother left. You gotta be respectful. Come on. I mean, I know you want to have your kid to see the movie, and I know you want to see the movie too, but you can't ruin it for other people who paid money
Yeah.
to see a movie where, they want to enjoy on a movie screen. Now, granted, this movie is stream worthy, not movie
I would have been
theater.
glad. I would have been better for stream.
Yes, I have to say, and I'm surprised I'm saying it, but we agree that Aquaman is like in the top 5 of the DCEU movies, and that's the final movie for the DCEU. It's gonna be no longer, that unless James Gunn changes his mind, because I believe after this that Jason Momoa is supposed to be Lobo,
Okay.
but he may change his mind and says, Jason may come back as Aquaman in the new DCU under James Gunn. Maybe, but as of now, the DCU is you have all the characters coming back except for maybe 2 new ones, which I thought was smart because one of the characters, again, this is heavily CGI, even more CGI than before, because there was times where it looked like they just put the head on the costumes
Yes.
and the
Is
water.
is it? Which kind of was in the first one, but not as noticeable here.
It looks really,
Yeah.
his costume was a lot bigger. He actually wore a padded suit, where in the first one he didn't.
Hmm.
He was in shape and didn't have the dad bod like he has now. When you see him, where he's more comfortable, not working out like he used to. And his costume was like, I mean, he looked like the Hulk.
He looked like his traps touched his ears. Right. They were like, and that was at the end where like what happened? Did you?
Get bigger and bigger and bigger every time he was on screen. Now, granted, I heard there was multiple
Shoots like retakes.
correct due to writing, due to COVID, due to Amber Heard
Yeah.
with her legal issues, and it shows. Like I said before, everyone comes back except for William Dafoe. He does not return.
He got rid off camera.
Right, and smart move by him. If that was the case, that he didn't want to do,
Did they say it was his choice or?
they killed him off.
Yeah.
And Amber Heard, which was surprising how much screen time she did have, considering what her legal issues. And like, I want to say this right now: if DC and Marvel were political parties,
Mhm.
DC are Republicans, where they'll back up their people regardless of all the wrongs they've done and all the allegations. And
Just to say that they have them in their party and they have the main.
uh, uh, but with like Marvel, if with it are the Democrats, where if they are just accused of something, not taken to court, but accused of something, they'll take them off.
Yeah.
They had that. They done that. They dealt with Al Franken is one example.
James Gunn.
Well, no, I'm talking about Al Franken he was a Democrat.
Oh,
He was accused of something, and he was willing to go to court to prove his innocence or to be proven guilty. Leave it up to the courts. But no, the Democratic Party forced him to resign. and he resigned. But the Republican Party doesn't do that. And the DC with Ezra Miller, with Amber Heard,
Well, I said Jim. Well, he was,
James Gunn, James Gunn was
but he's my example for Marvel.
right. He's your example, but here it's like they got their back. We're going to use Ezra still. We're still going to use Amber. I don't care if she shits on beds.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if he kidnaps people or beats up women. We're gonna keep him as the Flash. It was like, what the heck, guys? Really? But no, but with Marvel and with Jonathan Majors. Now yes, he was found guilty of domestic violence, what have you. Granted, I think also that the charges were at a letter lower.
He wasn't fully charged. They gave him like a subdemeanor. I don't
Right? It was like yes, a lower charge of that same parameter, if that makes any sense. But Marvel, Disney said, "You're out. You're done." As Kang,
Yeah.
they dropped it, and which is so sad because there's such he is excuse me, he is such an amazing actor. Ezra is not an amazing actor. Amber Heard is not an amazing actress, and it proved here. I mean, they could have write her off. They could have had her.
There was a solid moment where I thought they were gonna have her written off.
Yes, when Black Manta hit her with the beam.
Yes, and
But it,
or even at the end, like no, he's still in this. And she didn't bring nothing to it that demanded her to be there.
really, no one else really and it's like the mother, was she really needed to be in there? I like, no, like,
Which that okay, I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, a lot of the reoccurring characters that came back, except for a handful, didn't bring back as much as they could have.
like this story sounds familiar. And we've seen it before in the sense of the person you punished, the person you jailed, the person that was the villain of the previous is now you need him. Oh, got it. Loki and Thor.
Oh, Thor 2, The Dark World.
Yes, they needed Loki. Yes, and so as they gelled him,
Yeah.
then they used him back because yeah,
That we have a better villain. We have a villain that Malekith and we need to beat. So we need an ally who knows the tactics of how to get to him. And so we need Loki.
this case is
Yeah, because he knows how to get to Black Manta.
right, and they're both half brothers. Well,
Yeah,
adopted. Thor,
they're adopted.
he,
Yeah.
he's adopted where here, but the same thing, they're like half brothers. In this one, and that's what I was trying to figure it out, and that's what it is. It's a copy of Thor.
Yeah. Well, underwater.
Right. I'm still like how Black Manta's arc in the sense of why he wants revenge is because you killed my father, even though I'm a criminal and it's expected.
Yeah.
You know, death happened in our line of work. I'm going to get revenge on you because you did that. And they call back to that in the flashbacks, and his is still the same. But then you have Lord of the Rings motif with a black staff, where it's like the ring. You put it on,
Yeah.
you get the memories, all the stuff of what the ring went through, or the memories of the ring it gets into you. But now you're controlled by not Sauron, but this who's this character? I won't call him Necron from because he reminded me it's also like Blackest Night storyline.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some similarities because you were calling him Necron,
Oh,
even though he's
Necron, it's not called.
yeah, he's not.
But it was like that's what it felt like. The characters felt like that. Not the characters, but ghosts or
The monsters.
the monsters that he rose up from the dead, just like the Blackest Night. That's
They weren't undead, but they were corrupted by a. Oh, wait, technically,
undead.
those the monsters. They weren't undead. They were like Atlanteans that were corrupted by the power.
I thought they were dead. And you
Yeah,
come back to life.
nah, they were just frozen.
So that's dead, no? If you're frozen there, you're gonna live.
It was frozen. Is like blood magic that froze them. He was still. They were just existing. They didn't technically die until the king died.
Free though, when he didn't get free.
Because his cell was like the first cell by the king. It's a convoluted story. I don't know.
I thought for me, I thought for some reason I thought they were dead because weren't they coming back to life?
They were being thawed out.
But then they no, but then they kill him and they come back to life.
Mm-hmm. No,
But I'll say this: I did like there's two new voices or characters.
you talking about like, our station? He was in the first one, but his bit was like 2 lines. Yeah, he led the final army before the Kraken came out.
For station.
Yeah,
See, I don't remember that. I don't remember him that voice. I don't. I would have because I loved his voice. I love the actor, and when he came out, and I heard it right away, I was like, yes, he's in this because the last time I seen him was the last Indiana Jones movie,
Yeah.
but I didn't know he was in Aquaman, the first one. John Rhys Davies, he was Green King, Diggy, and I thought, perfect. I mean, we hear him. He was one of the characters in Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
and he's in most, but like his voice is so iconic. It's
He has a great personality to his voice. Like, he brings that through.
correct. And then you have King Fish, which I was hearing, and I was like, I'm hearing this voice. I know it, but I don't know. I can't really. And then we see on the credits is Martin Short.
Yes.
And I was like, perfect. And yes, I love Martin Short. I've loved him since SCTV, Saturday Night Live, and on his movies, his show now with his best friend, Steve Martin, excuse me.
Only Murders in the Building.
Yes, when they were on, that was not the kid in me lit up. Granted, Martin Short's role is very short, and also John Rhys Davies' role is relatively short, but he had more than Martin Short.
He's more spread out throughout the film, though.
Correct. He's a valuable part.
Yeah, Topo was valuable.
Topo
Doesn't say anything.
doesn't say anything, but he was to me like again Star Wars, right? He was the R2D2.
I can see that.
He was the one that opened the locks, like R2, open the gate, and then blah blah blah, and then was what Topo was doing. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
And then again, Atlantis remind me just of like the prequels, Coruscant planet, where everything's all bright and light, and Atlantis remind me of the same thing. Only good thing I think here for me, you can't help it. Like I said in the first one, our review of Aquaman, Jason Momoa is very charismatic. You cannot take your eyes off of him, be it male or female, who you are. He was meant for this role, like Tony Stark was. Robert Downey Jr. was meant for Iron Man. Tony Stark. I had a blast watching him play, but he's now becoming in a way of how The Rock, Will Smith, for the most part,
Like, characterized.
they're well, they're just them being them on screen.
That's fair.
Jason Statham, same.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's in different roles, different names, different
But he's doing the same role, essentially.
just same role. Yeah, like you see Jason Statham, he's the transporter now. In every film he does, he's the transporter.
He's not, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not his early roles where he was like really learning the craft and being a character actor.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's just like here. And The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, when he first started off, he was taking all these chances of these different roles, but now it's just the same. The name. Jason Momoa is kind of doing now just the same. You see him, he dresses like himself, this really no different look. Dune, that was a different role. I'll give him that. In that performance, it was different. C,
Yeah.
a different performance in that one. But like everything else is so that. But again, you can't take your eye off of him. For me, the best part in sense of action was with him and Manta in the final fight scene,
That fight scene, even though it was clearly CGI, for the fight,
but intense.
it it was the best Trident fight. The staff just it looks more like a staff to staff fight than by comparison to the first movie, where he's just like magically spinning the staff, and I don't know how he's grabbing it. So hey, we should have done that there. There was no free flowing water.
But but it's still water. Ice is water, just frozen.
I know I'm just making that up, but like here he's actually it looks like he's using technique and skills to fight with his trident, with Black Manta.
Right. And that's very again, that's a very Star Wars thing, where in the meaning that
The first time you see him, they're just like,
no. But I'm saying like you see how certain Jedi or Sith will use a penalty.
Yeah.
Right? In one film.
and they
But
don't.
But in the
Again.
second film, they don't use it again.
Yeah.
Like Kylo Ren. He uses the force stop, whatever you want to call it, and or freeze, it makes you freeze where the characters will go like this. In the first film, doesn't do it again in the second or third sequel.
Yeah.
The prequels, speed running or force running. They do it in the first one,
You never say
they
it.
don't do it again.
Yeah.
So like here, like he does the whole spin, the thing that Volko was teaching him in the first film, and he does it, full circle goes back into it and his ending. He doesn't do it here. I was like, would have been perfect, or it would have been a nice
But instead he does the underhanded.
twice, the beginning of the film and at the end. Oh no, he didn't.
No, that was the first movie, and then this movie, and this.
So he kills Black Manta's father. He does it here to the supposedly Sauron, if you will, or we call him Necron, but Sauron from the Lord of the Rings fame, that he breaks free and able to come back. But he takes him out like an NPC.
Well, he took him out the same way he took out Black Manta's father.
But the thing is, Black Manta's father is not on the same power level.
Absolutely not.
He's a human with a grenade launcher, and that's all he had. Where Necron, again, I'm calling him Necron because he looked like a Necron from Black Messiah, as I mentioned earlier, black and with the green eyes, whatever. And he does a little. I was like, there's no power from there.
Well, you need to realize I was the one that told you about that. Like he just did that hit thrust throw,
Right.
and I remember talking to you about that. I'm like, I don't know or see anywhere, and I tried looking at it. Granted, I only spent like 5 to 10 minutes searching, but I don't know any technique that uses a hit thrust throw underhanded like that to like throw any kind of spear of that nature. I mean, people, if you're listening to this, if you have a video that you can like reference,
No,
yeah, of a legitimate technique,
for me, I know this is what you can throw with that.
a knife,
A knife,
an axe,
yeah,
like a hatchet,
you can, you can. You can also throw a dart, a shuriken. Those you can throw on a frisbee. Uh, but
full on spear.
a spear, no. I'm talking about to generate that much power. This you could throw
Yeah,
for power, and the reason why they showed it too in a way that how it worked is like Necron has the his spear that he caught.
and he throws it through the other spear.
Right, but it's like it's right in front of him, so you can't see because you notice that his head turns to the side to look. Are you telling me that it says he caught that his trident? You mean he can't catch it again with the other?
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like the biggest baddie when he was taking over Black Manta,
he gave everybody a hard time.
he gave everybody a heart.
But as soon as he's thawed, 2 shots. That's all you need.
You would think it would be a bigger, more challenging way to take him down,
Yep,
but no. And I'm sorry. I mean, if that was the case, why didn't Atlan do it?
he's brothers.
I understand it, brother. That's his uncle. He just killed his uncle.
No, great uncle.
Great great uncle. Yeah,
And
whatever. But you know what I'm saying? So he killed his blood.
yeah, and they didn't need a lot of blood either to thaw him out.
Apparently not. You didn't need to kill a baby. All you needed is like he just got punched in the face and the blood was
He could have just took like a little syringe and then be like, "Bloop, I'll take these villains. Let's finish what we liked. I like the original father. I thought he's still good.
the one that almost died. Yes.
Yes, and Black Manta, I still enjoy Black Manta, setting aside his flaws.
I
And
like the costume.
Dolph Lundgren, still good, but doesn't hit as good for me.
No.
The crustacean guy was outshined Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, most definitely.
He's like, I lost a claw. Took me a month to grow it back.
No, a year.
He said a year.
Yes. Because it took a year and they lost it again on the
It's like
that
it took my claw again.
even though we don't see the actors, we see the performance and we hear the voicing with the act
Yes.
with the performance. Uh, it was great. Like little comic relief. But
And then they did have some comical moments. Orm was funny in some moments that worked, and some moments that didn't.
well, no, like with Orm, like like they brought some like reality in the sense of like you're gonna land
Which you didn't catch until I called it out to you because you're like, why is he running so weird? I like he's never been on land.
right. Well, okay, here's the thing. Okay, so I understand that like in the first one, like I don't really understand how Mira's out for so long because she's not half human, is she?
No, but they said it really quick that only the nobles or high bloods can stand outside of water and breathe the air.
All right, because the thing is, like, everyone's doing it here, where in the first one it was only Mira.
Yeah.
Orm didn't do it. He was like a hologram, if you will.
He was like the purist mentality. He's like, I don't need to be out there. He's like, this is my kingdom.
Right. But Vocal did it when they were meeting in the.
Mhm.
We're talking about the first movie, guys. I guess you're right because I was just wondering. Everyone's out. Even the crustacea was out and without a water gear to protect himself from the thing.
I thought it was funny
The funny,
that
okay, they're
Orm getting into the game Pudge.
by Black Manta, yes, because he thought he could handle 'em. But again, I have a problem with that too because they're surrounded by water, even though they're in that.
No one decided to take the fight to the water.
No one had decided to take a fight or to get strength from the water. Like if you're gonna be on land, fine, but once in a while, get in the water, regenerate, get that strength. Because remember when
'Cause yeah.
when Orm gets a little dab of water from the ocean, his body changes,
He rehydrates.
rehydrates. Is very similar to
Starfish.
no, but
Sponge.
no, I'm talking about Superman and
The sun.
Flashpoint, where we in Flashpoint, not the yeah, the Flashpoint paradox,
Yeah.
Flashpoint, where the alternate universe where Superman is skinny because he doesn't have the rays, but when he's still as soon as he gets the rays, they did him in the Flash,
Yeah.
with the girl.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like they
It rejuvenates them.
right, but as soon as he gets it, that's similar in this.
Yeah.
That's where I see the similarities. But we see them on that. He's shredded. He has a V shape, but then after that, he's has the
He has a costume on.
well, he has the Arthur or Jason or Aquaman gave him his suit. He's wearing now.
Regular clothes.
No, he's wearing regular clothes, but he gave Norm the camouflage suit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the invisible suit, which makes no sense.
And he never used it.
Every use, yeah, no, but what I'm saying is when we see him get rejuvenated, when he gets his body back, he is shredding. He has the small waist, the V back, but when he has the suit, he's square.
Yeah.
No longer ripped. You see a little belly.
Yeah, and then, like, they give him armor to kinda cover that up at the end of the film,
But
which but the armor looks just, like, thrown on, plated, which Aquaman's looks fitted, and his just looks like, "Oh, we just
oh,
tossed this to you."
but you had that, but the Aquaman's armor is his armor. That's his armor. But what I'm saying, no, but I'm
Those they give him a good outfit.
what I'm saying because the thing is just spandex,
Yeah.
pretty much. And what he when Jason is wearing or Aquaman is wearing is the abs showing and all this stuff. But when he wears it, it's not.
True.
Again, he's just flabby and square. So I'm like, the hell? Maybe it's due to reshoots, what have you. And he looked like it many times wearing a wig. And the characters besides the crustaceans and kingfish and all this stuff, like the Asian woman that was like Black Manta's right,
Stingray.
that was her name.
That's what he called her at one point.
She was like overacting.
Her best line to me was, "You gotta be kidding me." Which that was a whole Super Friends moment for me. What if we have, something that's bigger and can do the same frequency but louder? And he just calls all whales to just holler at the thing, and I'm like, "How does that work?" I understand whales use sonar or they can sing in the ocean and they but they're hitting a frequency that's like, how do you hit that frequency that precise? And then that overpowers it, and then all of a sudden it blows up the entire ship. Like I would have been hurt too. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Actually, no, that was my mindset. I said, you gotta be kidding me. And then she just looks up at the camera. You gotta be kidding.
But for me, what bothered me about her a lot of times, it felt like overacting, was forced acting.
There was a lot of overacting. Something.
But I said, yeah, but it felt like her forced, like, I don't know, it didn't seem so natural.
What didn't seem natural to me was Alana, his mother. Like all this time, she's like, "I must see your father" from the first movie. Doesn't show up with the father except for like the flashback scenes with the baby, and then somehow she's head of security for the secret fuel in Atlantis. Does royalty not have a good enough security system like where they have it? Why is she like first line of defense? She's nowhere near. Like, is she not staying with him? It's not like she has to stay in Atlantis anymore. It's like,
But yeah, you went to a part where it goes, when she was exiled, or when she, not exiled, but when she ran away in the first one, she stayed with him.
all the time.
And the thing is, like, he always came, like, to look for her. Right?
Yeah.
Had to be with, he went outside every day to see if she returned. And so,
Now, why is he still single?
yeah, exactly. Why is it only
She only showed up when like he got stabbed by Black Manta, which was a good moment actually. Like Black Manta showing up in the kitchen.
that was that? You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of the Batman. When the Riddler shows up in the house of the first victim.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's right there, right behind. But in this is nice because the red lights shine up, and it's right there. It's like it felt like Injustice,
Yeah.
the intro of Black Manta and the game.
I can see what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Felt like it was like Easter egg from that. Like I said, like Black Manta's costume better than I mean I do like the first one. This was more of a spandex version.
Yeah, because they were saying that he didn't have the power suit.
Right.
but somehow he could still shoot the beat.
Because of the technology and what you had from the old. Plus, also, here we go. So here's another Star Wars reference in the sense of the sequel trilogy where Palpatine has the last order and they come out of the ground.
Yeah,
Where did that staff come from? And so here, where did that staff come from?
it was in the Lost Kingdom or section of the Lost Kingdom. I don't
All those people? Oh, 5 months later.
just,
Baby is still the same age. 5 months later, what so does Antilia's age
who
slower?
needs to dunk them in water more so it can age properly.
Babies grow relatively rapidly. They don't stay at the same size, like the same hair. The baby should have more hair. Should have been walking by now.
He's about a year old.
He should have walked,
About a year old, yeah.
or definitely crawling.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but the baby is still the same. I was like,
He could have been a late bloomer.
could have been. They do this in many movies where they get different babies to fit certain
Yeah.
brackets. They didn't do that here. I was like, wow. Yes, you're right. The mother should not have been head of security, or she could have been head of security, but not there all the time.
Yeah, and it just
To periodically just make sure everything is running right.
I mean, the
But but the crew looked so stupid. It looked like a comic.
I thought the ship was like Nemo, like the ship that they found, the ancient Atlantean ship. I thought for some reason he's like, remember who built the ship? I thought they were gonna reference like Nemo from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or something like that. And then no, it wasn't.
But the thing is, the technology is so old but still advanced.
Well, yeah,
It should.
that's like you could argue Star Wars because Star Wars is like
But okay, but that
a long time ago.
that's like there's so several galaxies, like and you know what I'm saying. It's like, but the thing is, like they know how to. I think they said they modified it to work for their own, but still, it was like, how do you
They did
understand?
say that.
How do you understand it so quickly though?
That was the one Doctor Astounding.
And all those people, how do you get so many people to fight for your cause in 5 months' time? Like, how many people hate Atlanteans? And yeah, Atlanteans. But how many? Like, you found that much of a crew?
Yeah, which is fair because you're like, in the first movie, his crew were all gone, except for and he used only Atlanteans to attack Aquaman. And so either A, he was starting from scratch, build up all that crew in that operation, or B, he's already had that crew in operation, but why the hell do you not use them? I can see the flaw in that logic in that area. I mean,
Right. But the thing is, like you have guys security. Well, they come when Arthur and Arm get there.
that was the thing that confused me. Okay, so that was the deserter. The desert, right? Where they had him imprisoned, Orm imprisoned. That's where they found the map also in the first movie, where he's like, I could have just peed on it.
Right.
It was a deserted kingdom with nothing there and no creatures non-existent. And they're like, oh, the fisher kings or the fishermen imprisoned him there. I'm like, those are land dwelling. They look hideous and they're severely dehydrated, but none of them chased him into the water. So that made me believe that they're not fish people, that they're like land dwelling creatures.
So here's the thing too. Is like,
Where did they come from?
no, but how Aquaman got in? How come they didn't just go out? So if it was able to get in so easily, they got out in a different
I chalked that up to like, oh, we need to break this person out, but once we in, we can't go in. I'll get out the same way kind of situation. Well, it's always done in
They
movies.
should have said that because it made no sense. Like if you were able to get in without being detected, or even though he's wearing the invisible suit, which makes no sense because I understand you wear the invisible suit. You should only make from the neck down to the feet.
Because it doesn't cover the head.
If the head's not covered, the hands are not even covered. So they should be sticking out like a floating head. Hands.
Which the thing is, he's trying to hide the fact that he's the king of Atlantis coming to save his brother. That's the one thing you should cover is your face.
Yeah, I was saying if you can get in, you should be able to get out undetected, visible or not invisible.
I remember when Mirror got shot with a blast, and you're like, why don't they just put seaweed on her?
Exactly, and they put seaweed on other people.
They put it on Arm.
They don't put seaweed on her.
No, they put her in the hospital, the fish hospital.
No, that you remind me of Odin when Odin was dying, or
She was going for the Odin sleep.
that's what I thought she was going to because it was the same thing.
Yeah, I thought it would have been cool at least if they had King Shark.
That's why I thought it was going to show up instead of Kingfish.
Yeah, because I turned to you in the theater like, Oh, wouldn't it be funny if King Shark was like, King Shark is a shark, and they're having a conversation with him?
Right, it would have been, S Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
That would have been hysterical.
Although you got Martin Short, so you're like,
No, that was great too, but
but
but it wasn't King Shark. Marty Short was not King Shark, it was King Fish. But I'm saying, and who was his goons were sharks, which are hammerheads,
yes.
but it would've been a great tie-in because since the Suicide Squad is part of the DCEU,
Yeah.
it would have been a great touch if King Shark King Shark was reprising the role there.
Yeah.
It would have been funny because it's the same thing. It's like slow speaking, trying to, and they're losing the Orm and Aquaman are losing their patience because he's like trying to say something and get distracted or something like that. It would have been.
It would have been a good touch.
It would have been.
Although, for your Star Wars reference, peoples, the same scene when they're getting to meet the Kingfish, and they're like Pirates Cove, and it's like, "Doo, doo, doo," I forget how the song goes.
God, yeah, like in Return of the Jedi scene with
It is not the same music.
too.
Yeah,
I said, watch, it'd be Jabba no Bada. And then there's when he's lays, and then Kingfish is laying there
just like Jabba.
like Jabba. And then you have the musical band playing, the female singer, all that stuff too. And then
And it had literally a guy with like like the trunk,
right,
and they look like the gas.
it was very Return of the Jedi's Jabba Hut scene thing. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. So
The lack of originality because it's just like you have Black Manta playing it. Like, doesn't Aquaman have a rogue of villains like Batman and Superman have?
I don't remember.
But he
Like
should.
he does have villain.
And that should not be the same. Like
Yeah,
I have an issue when like the Christopher Reeve Superman, you have the same villain show up 3 times.
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, yes. Superman 1, Superman 2, Superman The Quest for Peace,
Yes.
not the one with Richard Pryor.
Yeah, yeah.
So the repeating of the same villain is boring. Yeah, I understand Black Manta has this revenge kick, then they get takes over by Necron.
No one remembers any other villains. No one remembers anybody else besides Black Manta as a villain for Aquaman, right?
That is a great way to introduce new.
That's what I was trying to get to. So, like, this would have been a great opportunity to say, hey, he does have other people that are notable and good villains that we can focus on. Bring them in. And that was a missed opportunity.
No, it was. It
Yeah.
was a great thing. Or have a team up
Yes.
with Black Manta, like another. There was a team up here, okay? Yes, but we don't care about Necron.
We could have.
We could have.
Mind you, the actor who played Necron, yeah,
Veronica,
yeah.
but he's from
Game of Thrones, and he's a good. I like him performance-wise as an actor.
that one for the Jackie Chan and John Cena.
Yeah.
And then you have his brother who played Atlan, King Atlan. In this one, he's in One Piece. He's Homeboy's grandfather,
Yes.
and which was surprising. He was also in Game of Thrones, but the new series House of Dragon.
Mhm.
So you have those 2 actors,
They're good actors,
great actors. But I'm just saying,
not utilized.
yes,
It's and the CGI just felt
wait,
washed. I'm not trying to be with a pun here, but it's washed out. Like when they're having some intense fights underwater, the bubbles. I see it just flushes out everything. Now it looks like a blur.
Also, here's another thing. Like, remember he's going after Black Manta. The rock fall, like the sonar thing, and the rock falls on top of him, and Mara shows up to say to move the rock.
I
He's all healed.
I know where you're going because you're like now she controls rocks.
Well, no, I find that I find out
I was like she's just using the water current to move the rock.
he could do that himself. He's strong enough to move that.
Yes,
Rocks are a lot lighter in water than it is on air.
I thought he was gonna lose a hand.
That would have been awesome.
Yes,
Well, you do that callback with the freaking axe.
because that's it. That's actually in the stories. Like he loses a hand in the act of trying to save his child. Because in most stories it's usually because of Worm, but like in some form or manner, he sacrifices his hand so he can get free, so he can go save his child. and leads to one of the, some people say that it's like emo Aquaman or is overrated. I personally like that style that he had with the harpoon hand.
And doing a callback to that storyline, yeah. But what I was getting at that she was going after Black Manta, who harpooned to the fleeing ship.
Yeah.
We've seen in Justice League, we've seen in Aquaman how fast Arthur is swimming.
Yeah.
Here, he wasn't doing that. He, like I said, as in our review of Aquaman, that he is the Superman of the sea.
Yes.
That he goes so fast, like he kind of breaks the sound barrier underwater.
Yeah, in essence, yeah, yeah.
He did it. And we saw it in the Justice League, like, no, when they show him, like, yeah, and he did it, I think, in Aquaman too. That he just go, how come he couldn't do that? He couldn't like push further, like they get to it, but no, but then they have the ship, but the ship goes slower than him,
Yeah, that's true.
and it had time to rearrange the pulsar, to redirect it to him and shoot it at him. And I was like, because the thing is, like, was Mira really needed? Like, take her out. That would have been perfect. Boom, she has to rest.
I did like, oh, this is not for Mara, but mentioning Mara, I did like the part where Black Manta realizes that Aquaman married Mira. First, he took your brother's kingdom, then he took his woman. Aquaman, I would expect better from you. Hey, he said it like that. I was like, oh, he's getting quirky with this, and then that stopped.
Right? And it's like so much potential just missed.
Let him be snarky, and that was fun.
Patrick Wilson playing Orm has some nice moments,
He does.
especially with the cockroach.
It's the shrimp of the land.
But he got the first taste. That even though it was a joke, meant to be a prank.
But he never got told to do.
That toad, right? Oh, it would have been funny though if he did that. He put the roach in the burger, and like he eats it, and he's smiling, and the camera pans to a neighboring patrons.
Yeah, something like that.
That would have been funny. It was funny there. Like if people in the audience got grossed out, but it would have been just funny if they panned and he's like, and they just dropped. They like, I'm done. Others they just like walked out. I mean, overall, this movie is not movie theater experience worthy.
True. If they said we released it to HBO at the same time as the movie, I would have been like, watch this on HBO.
Right. Like, okay, for Blue Beetle, right? Blue Beetle was meant to be on Max.
I was happy.
I was happy it was in the theaters. I enjoyed it. And that was a great transition what they did there. Where here it felt like this movie could have been put straight on Max.
Yep.
And it would have been just as probably even more pleasant because
Have a popcorn, enjoy your experience.
yeah, not having people talking in the back, whatever, but they missed the mark. Aquaman is better than this. To go back to the Rotten Tomato score, 36 by the critics, 79% by the audience. I mean, I could be so crude at saying at 36 to match the critics here. I would say 50. It's still low, but if you do it like a 5-star rating, I give it a 2. So that maybe makes it 36. I don't know. But if you want to see,
About a 40.
yeah, but I mean, like how Aquaman, in our opinion, is like a popcorn movie, so is this, but it's not as good as the first one.
Yeah, I feel like they tried to add more comedy and they tried to add more action, but just it felt choppy and forced in a lot of ways. Like when they were on Monster Island and they're trying to experience things, and he's like, "Is that natural?" And he's like, "Definitely not." And it's the plants and the grasshoppers and stuff like that. It was missed opportunities. I would give it because I'm willing to watch. I would have been willing to watch it like with dad at home streaming. 63, like 65. I was like 65.
For Aquaman, that came out in 2018, 66 by the critics and 72% by the audience. So you're telling me that you like this more for the audience? You like this more than the first one?
That's a disturbing response.
I mean,
How many people watched it on the audience side? For
oh,
like the
first-
how many people rated it for this one?
for the critics is about 150 reviews. For the audience is over 500. By the time of this review,
Oof. No,
it's gone up on the audience because after we first saw it, I looked. It said 77%.
so it's going up.
It's gone up to 2 points. Now, after the weekend is done or the holiday weekend is done, maybe that change? Will it go up? I don't know. But now again, to go back to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, one and done, not worth the watch. And it says a theater, wait for streaming. However you want to categorize it, in my opinion, that's what it is.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is our DC-ness review of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? As always, if you have a movie or show you'd like us to review, please let us know in the comments below. Until next time, we'll be next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan. Love you. Too.